Let's do a problem of the day here. How about it? It says here, the area of a square, that's a square figure, all right, four-sided quadrilateral, all sides the same length and all four right angles, is 81 square meters. Got to be in square meters now. Find the measure of its perimeter. So again, if the area of a square is 81 square meters, find the measure of its perimeter. So let's look at this problem. Let's take a look at this problem. Got a square already there for you. And remember what I said, a few important things to remember. We have right angles going here all the way around in a square. That's important. And you say, well, Ernie, I thought all quadrilaterals with four congruent sides. Well, I haven't made congruent sides yet, have I? Let's go ahead and put that there. There's certainly going to be a rectangle, but we're going to specialize it. If you have the four congruent sides, you got a rhombus. So put it together, a rhombus and a rectangle, well, you got a square, all right? So, but both those have to work in order for this to be a square. Now, you say, what are we going to do with this? We know the space inside. By the way, area is this space inside. We'll call it square meters, all right? SQM, all right? Now, what's going to happen here is, notice I put these as the same. So we can put all sorts of different letters on there. We could put an S for side. We could put an A for the first side, but they're all A's, all right? So in other words, once we have one side, we have them all. We have them all. You say, why is that important? Because we're looking for perimeter. So once we pick up A, quadruple it, multiply it by 4, you're home free. Now, how do we work backwards? Well, there's a little formula for area of a square. So let's look at that. Area of a square is equal to S squared. I use S. You want to call it A squared. However, I've got A's, don't I? So let's call it A, all right? So the area of the square, the big A, is equal to little a squared. Little a represents the length of your sides here. Now think about a number, because this number has to be the same thing to get me to 81. In other words, I've got to say a number times itself gives me 81. So start thinking about your times tables, because this isn't very big, all right? Start thinking of those numbers that multiply times each other. Like 7 times 7 gives us 49. Not quite there, are we? We need to go higher. 8 times 8, 64. What about our next little guy? One more up from 8 gives us 9. What is 9 times 9 out there? Thinking about it, everybody? You got it. It's going to be 81 when you square the 9, isn't it? So let's see. We've got our value going here. And a little trick we do on this, and you say, well, Ernie, that looks pretty easy. I can just think that in my head. You certainly can. And what are you thinking about? You are square rooting. You're square rooting both sides, and that's going to leave us with A equal to 9. Now you say, well, what about negative 9? Negative 9 times negative 9 does give us 81. However, it's a square, right? You got to have positive lengths. Got to have positive lengths. So that's why we're going to go with the 9. And by the way, 9 what? 9 meters. So that's what our little A is, 9 meters. Now, let's go back to the question. Oh, so many times we get rolling wrong. We got A. We're good. We're good. We're good. Not quite. We're looking for, remember, perimeter. Looking for the perimeter. So there are 4 of those. So we work around the page. We work around the page. Looks like it's going to be 4 times 9. So the perimeter is 4 times 9, which will give us 36 meters, okay? Give us 36 meters in this case. And I'll spell it out for those of you who like to see the words, okay? So you've got it. Your perimeter, you got an area to start with. You know, we got to work backwards too. We could have started with the perimeter and gone and gotten the area just as easily. Start with 36 and worked our way back to 81. That's the beauty of math. You can go frontwards and you can go backwards, and a lot of your problems are just set up in that way. That's what algebra is all about. Get a formula, work backwards. Or get some numbers, take a formula, work forward. And you're good, all right?